Welcome to For Sure Stand Up, For Sure Stand Up, For Sure Stand Up. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 11 of For Sure's homemade stand up. I wonder who are the people who are driving those little pussy Vauxhall Corsa cars with P plates on them. I was thinking that they might be a potato driver, either they might be maybe a Pakistani driver, either might be a plain pancake driver, because what happened not long ago to me and one of my co-workers would explain why the Vauxhall Corsa drivers with P plates are total pieces of shit. I'm saying that with all my seriousness because one of such driver, we almost got into an accident because of him, because he was driving a bit not recklessly but not pretty well, and I'm going to tell you what really happened. And I would suspect that you people also hate the drivers who are driving really slow, who are driving without regard to other drivers, and you don't give a fuck about the road rules. I mean, you do not abide to the road rules. So that's what happened to us not long ago. We basically finished our shift. It was 10 p.m. and we were going home already tired, so we were already happy that we are going home. And basically we were the last car passing through the gates at the work. But in front of us there were two other cars. I mean, you already know who was the first one. Another second one was another coworker, and we were the third car. So basically that driver was driving really slow, and it already got us pissed because we had a limit of 30 miles per hour in that area, but that driver didn't give a fuck, so he was driving with about 15, maybe 18 miles per hour. He was very slow. I mean, we barely get out of that big area because of him or her, because we didn't knew who was driving that car yet at the moment. So we were laughing and we were making bets who is driving that pussy Corsa car. We were not sure, but we saw from the very beginning that driver is terrible. I mean, terrible, because I understand you just passed the driving test, but you see the signs that you can go a bit faster, and you should abide to the signs and to the rules. Well, we didn't knew that we will be so pissed and got angry because of them. I mean, by the end, because of that driver. So what basically happened, it was the first incident, but we had a few more with that driver. We basically arrived at the roundabout, we waited for the green light, we were in the left-hand lane, and the driver was in the right hand lane, I mean mid lane, because there were 3 more lanes which were going around the roundabout. So that guy basically went to that lane because we thought he's going to the right again. But that was not the case. As soon as the green light came, the traffic lights, when we pulled, that driver has pressed acceleration for some reason and has decided to cut us in front. And we were thinking, who might do something like that? I mean, might be a female or a male driver. We were making bets, so we came to the conclusion that it was a female driver. I mean, newly passed female driver, because he or she was driving slow. So basically the driver was driving pretty slow, and all of a sudden, I mean, after the green light came on the traffic lights, he just cut in front of us, basically we were the same level, but they came something like that in the front. I mean, and that driver was driving in the middle of the road because there were two lanes separated by separated strips lines. So for some reason, I mean, he was not even holding his lane. He was, or him, or she was driving in the middle of the lane. But soon after that, two lanes would have merged into one. So after those two lanes have merged into one, he was basically, or she was basically keeping that lane, but still not pretty well. I mean, that driver was really terrible. So we said, okay, that's it. I mean, nothing really happened. We barely avoided an accident because when he pulled in the front of us, he left a gap of 0.5 meters, half of a meter, in front of between these two cars. And my coworker, which is also female, has beeped to him to make him aware that there are other drivers and to use them side mirrors, to use the indicators that what are you do, because give us how to say idea what are you doing. I mean, indicators are to show us what are your next move, what is your next move. But for some reason, he didn't bother that driver that much because him or she was driving again in the middle, maybe passing again between two lanes. I mean, driving between two lanes. I mean, who the fuck is doing like that? But it was the driver. It was the Vauxhall Corsa driver for some reason. We said we just hoped that we will get home soon and safe. And my coworker also pressed a bit of acceleration just to get in front of him. It was something really happened that we again get on the left hand lane because we had to turn to the left at the junction where the few lanes just splits into 2 or 3 lanes. And again, that pussy Corsa driver was again in the right hand lane where he had to go straight. I mean, he didn't have to turn to left at the junction where the lane splits. So we were driving, we got in the correct lane, and again, we were almost at the same distance, I mean, from not each other, at the same level. And then again, at the last second, when the lanes began to split, that driver, I mean, how stupid he was, unaware. I don't understand what he was thinking, what he was seeing. He didn't use any indicator. He just again cut in front of our car, again by half meter or maybe 1 meter. Again, it was not very far from our car. Again, it was the second time when we almost got into an accident because of that stupid driver who was not using the common sense, the side mirrors, the indicators. And still we didn't know. I mean, we were thinking, who the fuck is driving like that? I mean, person is stupid to drive like that? How did they pass the driving test? That was impossible. Even now I'm getting angry when I remember that incident, because we could have been hospitalized because of them. If not my coworker who was pressing the brake a bit harshly, because to make that 2 seconds gap between the cars. Because of that driver, I don't understand in which dimension he was driving, but not in the reality. It was, I don't know, the 9th dimension or whatever. So we wanted to see who is driving that car. We wanted to see who is driving that car. We were lucky enough because we had two more traffic lights which had to pass after I will have to drop off at one of traffic lights. We arrived at the first one. As soon as it got green color at the traffic lights, it took 3 business days for the driver again to pull off from the traffic lights. I don't know how was my coworker feeling, but obviously she was a bit angry because of the driver. I mean, dude or girl, watch, you've got eyes, you've got ears, you've got everything to pull off and to drive safely. But not, the driver was driving again slow, was driving again without any regard to other drivers. Lucky enough, we just caught them at the next traffic lights because it came red and they stopped. And I dropped off, and I have decided to see who is that driver. So I got off the car. I went in front of that car, of that little pussy Corsa, Vauxhall Corsa with P plates. And what was my surprise when I saw that behind the wheel was a young Indian guy. Come on! How it was possible? I mean, we could never bet that something like that would happen, but it was a young Indian boy. I mean, I was laughing, and the next day I told my coworker that it was an Indian guy, and we were laughing how terrible he was, but at the same time we were a bit angry because of him, and I wanted to go to knock at his window and to ask him whether he knows how to use the side mirrors, either how to use the indicators. That's obviously not a BMW driver, because some of them are using the indicators, but not this one. And I wanted to go, and I said, hell no, this Indian. So I was thinking, if some of Indians are driving like that here in the UK without any regard to other drivers, not abiding to the rules, being not aware of what's happening around, what if they would, what if they do not really have hospitals there in India, because people are dying on the impact after getting into an accident? Because why somebody has to treat it when people are driving like that? And I do not generalize that all the Indians are driving like that. That was just one case. I have met an Indian guy who was driving really well, using indicators, using side mirrors and so on. But that one, that night we could have been brought to the hospital. But luckily it didn't happen, and we never ever again saw that driver coming to that work to give a lift to some Indian girls, because I saw that his passengers were some Indian girls. So guys, be safe on the roads, please use the indicators, please use the side mirrors, please use your eyes, your ears to understand what's happening around. If you piss other drivers, go to the, use the speed limits, drive to the speed limits, not above, not below, just to be better, so you don't piss other drivers. So thank you very much, and see you at the next episode, guys. Thank you.
Forsørgelsesstøtta, 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 forsørgelsesstøtta.